Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, my beautiful hot messes. My name is Mistress Lavender, and welcome to my YouTube where I read. Today we are reading the 50, The Happiness Advantage by Sean Anker. I'm on page 15, starting at listening to positive outliers. Let's just begin. The more I studied the research emerging from the field of positive psychology, the more I learned how wrong-headed we are. Not just the Harvard students, but all of us, in our beliefs about personal and professional fulfillment. Studies conclusively show that the quickest way to high achievement is not a single-minded concentration on work, and that the best way to motivate employees is not to bark orders and foster a stressed and fearful workforce. Instead, radical new research on happiness and optimism were turning both the academic and corporation worlds upside down. I immediately saw an opportunity. I could test these ideas out on my students. I could design a study to see if these new ideas indeed explained why some students were thriving while others succumbed to stress and depression. By studying the patterns and habits of people above the curve, I could glean. What is glean? We have a pencil to underline words we don't know, or I don't know yet. I could glean information about not just how to move us up to average, but how to move the entire average up. Likely I was in a unique position to conduct this research. As a freshman proctor, I've been blessed for a dozen years with an incredible close up view of these students, what their habits are, what makes them tick, and what we can learn from their experiences to apply to our own lives. I've been able to read all the admissions files, see the admissions committee comments, watch the students progress intellectually and socially, and see what jobs they received after college. I also ended up grading a large percentage of them in the classroom as a teaching fellow for 16 different courses. To get to know the students beyond just their exams and transcripts, I began meeting with students at my office in Starbucks to hear their stories. By my calculation, I have sat with more than a half hour individual with over 1,100 Harvard students, enough caffeine to get an entire Olympic team disqualified for decades. I then took these observations and used them to design and conduct my own empirical survey of 1,600 high achieving undergraduates, one of the largest studies on happiness ever performed on students at Harvard. At the same time, I continued to steep myself in the positive psychology research that was suddenly exploding out of my own institution and out of university laboratories all around the world. The result? Surprising and exciting conclusions about what causes some to rise to the top and thrive in challenging environments, while others sink down and never become what they have in them to be. What I found and what you're going to read was revealing, not just for Harvard, but for all of us in the working world. The seven principles. Once I finished gathering and analyzing this massive amount of research, I was able to isolate seven specific, actionable, and proven patterns that predict success and achievement. The happiness advantage. Because positive brains have a biological advantage over brains that are neutral or negative, this principle teaches us to restrain our brains to capitalize on positivity and improve our productivity and performance. The fulcrum and the lever. How we experience the world and our ability to succeed within it constantly changes based on our mindset. This principle teaches us how to adjust or our mindset, our fulcrum, in a way that gives us the power, the lever, to be more fulfilled and successful. The Tetris effect. When our brains get stuck in a pattern that focuses on stress, negativity, and failure, we set ourselves up to fail. This principle teaches us to restrain our brains to spot patterns of possibility so we can see and seize opportunity wherever we look. Falling up. In the mindset of defeat, stress, and crisis, our brains map different paths to help us cope. This principle is about finding the mental path that not only leads us up out of failure or suffering, but teaches us to be happier and more successful because of it. The Zorro Circle. When challenges loom and we get overwhelmed, our rational brains can get hijacked by emotions. This principle teaches us how to regain control by focusing first on small, manageable goals and then gradually expanding our circle to achieve bigger and bigger ones. Page 19. The 20-second rule. Sustaining lasting change often feels impossible because our willpower is limited. And when willpower fails, we fall back on our old habits and succumb to the path of least resistance. This principle shows how, by making small energy adjustments, we can reroute the path of least resistance and replace bad habits with good ones. Social investment. In the midst of challenges and stress, some people choose to bunker down and retreat within themselves. But the most successful people invest in their friends, peers, and family members to propel themselves forward. This principle teaches us how to invest more in one of the great predicators of success and excellence, our social support network. Together, these seven principles helped Harvard students and later tens and thousands of people in the real world overcome obstacles, reverse bad habits, become more efficient and productive, make the most of opportunities, conquer the most ambitious goals, and reach their fulfill fulfillment potential. Out of the ivory tower. While I loved working with students, what I really wanted was to see if these same principles could also drive happiness and success in the real world. To bridge the gap between academia and business, I formed a small consulting firm called Aspirant to deliver and test the research at companies and nonprofit organizations. A month later, the global economy began to collapse. I'm stopping there. Happiness at work. The next episode will be page 20. But again, my name is that's weird. This is a page, but he puts 20 here. Anyways, but yeah, I'm stopping here. The happiness advantage at work. Again, my name is Mistress Lavender, and we will continue tomorrow. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. Turn your post notifications on. And if you want to see me and support me on all my other social medias, I have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, now known as X, TikTok, all the fun stuff down below, and my explicit content. If you know, you know. But if you don't worry about it. But there's a reason why my name is Mistress Lavender, aka the Fit Numb Dictator. Bye. I'll see you guys later. Thank you so much for joining.